Thank you for joining us, friends. Welcome back to the Rockstar Real Estate Report podcast with Megan Hatch, real estate attorney, Helena Allen, mortgage lender from Allied Mortgage Group, and myself, Julie Oakes, from the Results Group at Layer Realty Partners. How's everybody doing?
Really good.
Episode 3. Episode 2, we left off with in the buyer process with the consultation. And after the consultation is the next pivotal step in your home buying process. And I just had this conversation now 20 minutes ago with somebody else on the phone, is the big pre-approval process. So I'm going to hand that off to Helena because she's the finance expert and we like to stay in our lane. I'm the real estate, Megan's the legal, Helena's the money. So go for it, Helena.
Thanks so much, Julie. And I'm so glad everybody's back together again. So basically, once it's time to get the pre-approval started, that's really where the fun begins. That's when we have our clients submit their applications. We do take them in person, but the majority of the folks, especially during these times, and during work schedule, they like to submit it online, whether it's after their work day, whenever is convenient. They go online, they create their account and submit, as much information as they possibly can, because the more information they're able to give us, the better we can work with their review. We ask for their identification documents, license, and we also do ask for a social security card, a copy of that, especially, again, during these times, we want to confirm your identity. No worries, not everybody carries it around. I certainly do not. If you can't find it, we do have a form that we will send you where you sign off confirming that that social security number is in fact yours. We do collect 2 years worth of W-2s, 30 days work of pay stubs, which could be 4 pay stubs if you get paid weekly or 2 if you get paid bi-weekly. We do like to get a copy of a bank statement to show where your funds are coming from for the transaction. And common question when I get bank statements and people miss pages, usually they don't realize that we need front and back every single page. They are numbered. We can't be missing anything. And even if it includes the page, as you know, that shows you how to fill in, your ledger or how to do your banking, we need that as well. Everything is numbered. It needs to be together. And
that's a really good point.
A lot of people like, well, that makes no sense. I'm like, but it's part of your document.
Right. Can you actually go back and repeat that?
Yes. All the documents you're saying?
No, not all of them, just what you just said about the bank.
Sure. So it's a complete bank statement. So every page, front and back. And if you're sending it to me, because there's no other way to get it to me, you can't fax it, you can't scan it, and you're sending me a picture just to get the process started, we need all 4 corners of the document. Do not cut anything out. Give me all 4 corners straight on, nice and clear, because if it's not clear on your end, I can't make it clear on my end. It needs to be a nice, clear picture, and we can always get a different format in the future, but at least to get the process started.
That's really, really good to know, because you know what? I didn't even know that about the 4 corners and everything.
Yeah, the whole
page. That sometimes it says, this page intentionally left blank.
Exactly. You need it
to be included as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people will ask, why? I don't know. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, because they're all numbered, and there's a chance that we're going to be missing a page, or there's a page that's there that shouldn't be there from a different account. So it keeps things nice and easy just to have front and back. It's better to send me extra and I'll sort through and make sure I have what I need, versus you're missing pages and I'm going to go back to you anyway to ask for, page 3 out of 7 or 5 out of 7, whatever it is that you didn't send.
I just have to say that one of my clients from a few months ago She was just this amazingly prepared and organized person. And I know not everyone is like that. I'm not like that. But she was so organized that she was originally going with her bank for the mortgage. But her bank was, number one, not very responsive. And number two, they were kind of sticklers about a time frame. And the house she was buying, we needed to adjust that time frame. And they were not willing to work within those parameters. So, so she was left. She needed to get a pre-approval from someone else who would be able to, who would commit to closing within a certain time, right? She had this file folder with all of her documents.
Nice.
I think it was 4 different lenders. She just sent all of her stuff to every lender just in one day. And I mean, wow, that's just amazing. And like I said, I know not everyone is like that and organized and prepared like that, but if you can be, woohoo, we are.
Right?
We like those clients. We like the
We
organization.
do.
Yes.
But that being said, we're okay with if you have to send us, piecemeal. It's you send an
Right.
email with this piece of paper, you send an email with that document. We don't require everything to be sent in bulk all at once. We tell people this all the time. If they look at the short list and they say, oh, I have my pay stubs, but I don't have my W-2s, or I can send you my license, but I can't send you my bank statement. It's okay. Because no matter how somebody sends it, we still have to organize it on our end in the system. So whether you send it to me individually, but you're checking off, that box that says this item sent, less stress, today, I already sent that. If it makes you feel better, just send it in pieces. Not the bank statement. Bank statement, I need all pages, but everything else individually is perfectly fine. I will put it together. We will organize it and review it.
Helena, can you myth bust or talk a little bit about, some people just going to Google and, get pre-approved now, and why that is not actually a good pre-approval or makes you a strong buyer?
So we can Google anything and everything, and somehow we are always going to find the answers that make us the happiest, because we'll keep searching until we find it, or the easiest way to do it. But when you're going through a lender, you want to make sure that you're providing the necessary information, because once that pre-approval is done, we do our due diligence. We double check your information. We double check your documents. We do verifications of employment. The majority of them lately are very easy because we can do it automatically through the system, through your social. So it's very easy to do. There are trickier ones depending on what industries you're in. We may have to make some calls, but we do all of that so that when we do provide you with a pre-approval letter, that's showing your potential, seller that you're potentially making an offer to, that someone reviewed your documentation, your income is solid, your funds are there, you are a great buyer. And if they want to sell to you, then that's awesome. If you're doing something off of Google online, or even certain companies that you do everything online, they're not local, everything is automated, there's no confirmation within those companies that you're able to make that offer, that something wasn't missed, that something's not going to come back to bite you. And it makes sellers very nervous. And there are a lot of people out there that they can easily, send out that pre-approval. But with us, we want to make sure that when they see a pre-approval letter from Ally, they know this is a reputable company. They do their due diligence. They ask the questions up front, so that when this letter is coming to me, I know that they're okay.
And Julie, as the real estate agent, when you're on the seller side, there are those, I won't even say names, but which pre-approvals that you're going to tell your client may not be actual legitimate pre-approvals.
Yes. And actually, I'd like to talk about that further, but
yeah,
before we end, excuse me, I would like to ask one more question, Helena, because we're running out of time for today. But how does it work for people who are self-employed and don't have a W-2?
So self-employed people, we will need your tax returns. We will also need a year-to-date profit and loss. And that's usually something that if you don't have it handy for whatever reason, depending on your business, with your permission, we can always reach out to your CPA, who can very quickly communicate with us, send us the copies that we need, the information that we need, and it makes it very simple. We try not to stress the client as much as we can. So if they give permission to whatever party, it's almost like doing the verification of employment for a W-2 employee, except we're speaking to your, tax person to send us the information we need.
That's awesome. Thanks for addressing that.
Absolutely. Thanks for the
Apologize for the frog in my throat. Excuse me. But what I wanted to say with your question, Megan, is primarily I'm a listing agent. I work with some buyers, love first-time home buyers. But when I'm a listing agent, you better believe I am vetting those buyers. And yes, I understand that they have an agent, but it's my job to protect my seller and to make sure that their selling transaction has the least amount of stress as possible and that it's the smoothest as I can possibly make it within my control.
Mm-hmm.
The ways I do that is I vet the buyers, because when you submit an offer, your pre-approval letter always comes with that offer. And you better believe I'm calling that lender to talk to them about the financing. And there's only so much that they tell me, of course, because, your information is private with your lender, of course, but there is some information that the real estate agents must have to be able to pass that on to the client, to the seller, so that your offer can be accepted, that they know that you are a legitimate, ready, willing, and able buyer.
Absolutely.
I hope that helps. And thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you, friends. And if you have questions for us, we would love to field your questions. We would love to address those in the podcast. And if you have questions, comments, whatever, let us know in the YouTube comments. Please subscribe and share and tell people about us. We really appreciate your time. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Rockstar Real Estate Report. Thank you so much, Megan. Thanks, Megan and Helena.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks so much, Julie. Thanks, Helena. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.